Welcome to I Married a Melchizedek, episode 11, where we talk all about unity. Unity consciousness, the divine unity field, and the unity living process, along with the absolutely divine Miss H, Hazel Davies, head Master UNITY Bubble Facilitator, who shares her fascinating experiences during her 18-plus year relationship with Jonathan C.R. Davies, her Melchizedek hubby, and all the wisdom gained along the way as an incredible intuitive healer herself. If you're unfamiliar with Unity Living or what exactly the Melchizedek are, I invite you to check out our new website at unityliving.life and read and watch videos all about it there. And on the here and now, I'm your host, Renata Duma, or Rada. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified immediately when another episode of I Married a Melchizedek airs. Links to all I Married a Melchizedek shows will also be listed on the unityliving.life website. And now, once again, without further ado, here's the divine Miss H. Hazel, welcome to episode 11. Can you believe it? We're almost at an even dozen.
No, I really cannot believe it. Yeah, Miss H, yes, that was always Miss Hazel in the South. Yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
So that's
and my T-shirt. Look at my T-shirt.
What I was going to say. Show us the T-shirt. Yay!
T-shirt.
Unity.
Yes. On the store, on the website. Yes, I picked the turquoise one because I like turquoise, and yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice, really nice.
And how does it feel like in terms of the quality? I tried to make it as the best quality possible.
It feels really good. Yeah, it feels really nice. It's soft, but it's not harsh. It's nice, right. Very nice.
Okay, lovely, lovely. And on the back it says Unity Living Life, a Unity Living Life. Well, no, I'm not going to make you turn around.
Remember, and I don't think I can turn around now.
A Unity
But I could take a picture. I could take a picture and send it to you.
Okay. It's a Unity Living Life, another chance to love your life. Something like that. It's our call phrase that's on the website. Yeah. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yay. Yeah, and there's other fun stuff there, everyone. There's some little tongue-in-cheek kind of things going on there. So I recommend you all check it out. Just go under the store tab in the website and it takes you to our back-end store. So have a look. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So we received some more really interesting questions from our audience members. So I'd like to jump right in with that. One of the questions is quite timely given the season. They asked, I'm suffering from allergies. Is there some deeper issue I'm not aware of? So I actually have the big bad book right here, and I thought we could give our audience just a snippet or one or two of the explanations given there. But first, Hazel, why don't you give us a brief recap of Messages from the Body by Michael J. Lincoln, and then explain how any irritant like allergies is addressed and why. Over to you.
Yeah, well, he has some very, very deep, issues that could be addressed with that. What I like to do if somebody comes to me with an allergy problem, first of all, I need to know there's a range of allergies, from being just a little bit sensitive to something, going right through the whole gamut to something that is life-threatening, like an allergic shock. And I don't recommend, if you're going into an allergic shock, that you're going to open the book and have a look what it's about.
Absolutely not.
Get some help. Get some professional help. And then maybe when it's through, then one might like to have a little deeper understanding. So the other end is just, I'm a little bit sensitive to something or other. So then you have a choice of whether you're going to continue eating that particular thing or putting it on your skin or whatever that is.
Right.
So we're talking the middle line here. It's starting to really bother me. So my first question would be, what part of the body are you being bothered? And what is the actual irritation? Because it's some sort of irritation, something that is out of balance. So we could start with the overall skin. Is the skin is there something somebody that is irritating you, is getting under your skin, that kind of a situation. If there's inflammation, then it would be there's some kind of anger or frustration that is coming out in the skin or wherever it is. It can be in the eyes, which is common with hay fever, eyes and sinuses. Sinuses in general would be possibly inner crying or being peed off with somebody or something, even to the universe itself, going into it's not fair, why is my life like this? That kind of a thing. So the itchiness in the eyes or in the nasal passages would be it's something is irritating, something is out of balance. And I don't know that sometimes you live with these allergies for a long time without really getting over them, and yet if you can get an understanding, they do lessen. I know myself, I was very, very allergic to ragweed. I'm not so allergic anymore because I've looked at all the issues of what was, being annoying,
dragging on you.
Life. Yeah. So the throat, if you're looking at something that is in the throat, it will be something to do with speech. Are you able to speak your truth? So there could be irritation in your throat. And we could look at it as allergies, but it really comes down to your own issues anyway. It's just presenting itself that way. So there's many, many different things that could be, if it's digestion, could be something that you're not able to stomach. You're not able to digest properly, or something like that. So everything has a spiritual cause to it. So I don't know what he has to say about it.
Well, we're certainly not advocating. Like, if I think that, I'm not obviously clearly not a doctor, but so for example, if you have an allergy to bee stings or something, you're not going to run and open up the book after you've been stung by a bee. So, but that is something to look at. If you know that you are allergic to bees, what else are you allergic to, right? So let's really, when we do an intake form with people, which is something maybe we should, maybe just touch on, but we didn't, we weren't planning on it, but
those intake forms are they're very, very necessary, and they're very powerful.
They are.
It shows the client exactly where they are right then, right there. Exactly. And we forget how we are. When we've done a lot of work and we look back, that's where a lot of the value is, apart from for you or for me to help you to connect the dots. It's also for the client to look back and say, oh yeah, and it's like it's to be proud of the work that you've done, to see that's what I wrote in that questionnaire. Now look at me now, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months later, you actually don't recognize a lot of the things.
Oh,
you say, how could I have been like that? Well, of course, that's how you were.
Exactly.
Until you're not.
So it's that form is extremely important, and for us, even for this purpose. So if you have more than one allergies, like we're gonna need to know that, because it paints a picture, right? It paints an overall picture for us to be able to see what the blockages are, where they're coming from. Because often I find with my clients, some of the things that the body communicates, if you when you go to look it up, even though it seems like they're completely different issues, the core of them is the same. It's just underscoring the same issue over and over and over again, and probably getting more severe because it isn't being addressed, right?
Yes, and the issue will gravitate to the weaker parts of the body,
right,
until they're resolved.
Right. So here we go. So allergies. I'll just read two so that our audience members can get an idea of what it sounds like. So number one, they are having an overreaction to felt threats to their well-being, to something hostile to their welfare. They are engaged in on-the-edge functioning due to severe emotional difficulties and due to denying of their own power and self-worth. That's one. They are repressing repressing, and he hyphenates it, repressing rather strong anger and aggression reactions. So you talked about anger, the inflammation, right? Who are they allergic to? There is an irritation, we talked about that, reaction to life, and they are reacting to people instead of interacting with them. They feel threatened and they fear loss, so they take a rejecting first approach.
Yeah, the inner grief, you know. So they're not going to get me. I'm going to get them first.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's just part for our audience members. That's just
a lot of lack of nurture too always comes up.
Interesting. Okay, well, there was another very important question from one of our audience members who has not yet done the Unity process, but is contemplating it. This could possibly be a deal breaker for this person. So I'd like us to really focus on this and provide a response that would illuminate things for them. The question was, how do I reconcile the Unity Living process work with my Christian faith? Now, the person said Christian, not Catholic. So I'd like to make that distinction very clear. So over to you.
Well, this work is not about religion. You can be any religion. I've had clients, Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, like you name it, I've had them. It doesn't really matter. So if you want to follow a faith or religion, follow it. If it works for you, do it. This is not about that. This is about self-mastery. This is, if you want to call it a religion, it would be the religion of self. So all religions, in the fundamental desires of religions, are to get to a place of peace and harmony. It doesn't matter what path you go down. And this is another path that is all about doing your own work, which leads to peace, harmony. So it really, yes, let her, him, whoever it is, follow the religion that most appeals and resonates with them. And they may still follow that religion, and that's fine. It's not about changing anybody's religion at all.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. That given, I mean, there is the beings of unity represent a universal energetic presence of which Yeshua was one, as was Mother Mary, as was Father, Mother, God, right? I mean, so it's not about the name. It's not about what you call it.
I've had people who are atheists. They follow no religion, don't want to know anything about any religion at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So the way that I talk to them is about if they have any kind of resonance with some kind of higher power that makes an oak tree, or a blade of grass, a blade of grass. I go to nature. And if they can get their heads and their hearts around, it's got to be something more, because an oak tree is not going to suddenly be a dandelion, because there's an innate knowing. What makes that innate knowing? You know? And that seems to resonate with some. I've never had anybody actually not do the bubble. Here we go. It's a bubble.
We got to get elastic bands, okay? And every time we say bubble, we're gonna snap.
Oh, I think we'll still always call it a bubble.
I think so too. I think we're doomed.
It's one and the same. It's one and the same.
Again.
So I've never had anybody who has refused to do the work, because when it's explained to them that it is about your own work, and if you're peaceful inside, it is an inside job. And the way to get to that outward peace that we're all looking for in the world, the only way to do it is to be peaceful inside. And then it ripples out. You cannot go, it's getting the cart before the horse if you try and do it outside and then you'll get it inside. It's the other way around.
Yeah, correct.
And that's the same in any religion or any following that people want to, that they resonate with.
Yeah. And I said something to them along the line that it's not about the outer church. It's about the inner connectivity. It's the inner church, your temple, your.
It is no building.
No,
it is no,
I'm
it is
talking
no
metaphorically. It's your inner temple,
yeah.
right? Your inner connectivity, your inner alignment. And, like, they don't really care how you get there, right? There are as many paths to God, to Creator, to the universe, as there are beings in the multiverse. So follow your path. And if this is if you resonate with this, if you're drawn to this, then this may be part of your path. But it may be part of it may not be your whole path, and it probably isn't. I'm sure most people came through all kinds of different paths to come to this universal unity consciousness, right?
I think it helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps when people have an idea or see or read some of the removals and the infusions that actually made up the unity bubble. And I'm going to call it the bubble because it was created as a unity bubble.
Yeah.
And when they look at the removals and the infusions, it's very obvious that it does not align itself to any religion at all.
No. However, that does not make it not divine. No. It's still divine. It's just not.
It's fundamental.
Yes, that's the word. Bravo. That's why you're the divine Miss H.
Well, I do know that,
Thank you for that. So following up on our series on the 7 unity living transmissions or protocols, in episode 9, we explored the sacred garden and why it's such an important protocol. Today, let's talk about the anti-angst transmission and why it's so important, especially at this time in the evolution of the planet. Hazel?
Yeah, the anti-angst. This is kind of a weird name. This just shows how creative Jonathan and I were. And the word angst kept coming up. Angst is about angst, we're going angst, and angst actually is, in some things that we read, they said, whoever they were, said it was incurable. It was a state of humanity that is incurable. And it's a state of anxiety and leading to depression, and you just can't cure it. And we go, wait a minute, we don't believe that one. Yeah. So hence it was anti-angst, because that's all we could think about. So it's really what we came up with was really about not knowing why you're here, like what the understanding. So you get back to the basic questions of who am I and what's my purpose. So when you get more clarity on those big questions, and you get some idea of why you were born at this time and in this particular universe, on this particular planet, at this time, it becomes not angst. So therefore, it's really the cleaning of the slate, because you've already done a lot of releasing up to that point. So now this was like clean the slate, wait a minute, I have to, it wasn't a sacred garden. It was I'm like, that's not true. It was actually the open heart that was before.
Oh, right. My bad.
Because in my head, I'm going, no, wait a minute, there's the open heart. So the open heart comes okay. So we have sacred garden, and then we have the open heart, which is all about the balancing, right? And then we have the anti-angst. You can't do the anti-angst before you've done the open heart.
No, right.
That just would not be prepared enough. No. So it is about cleaning the slate of all the little things that were not available beforehand. So we're cleaning the slate, basically the finalizing Jonathan used to call it the education of the smaller self, like the egoic personality self. So cleaning up all those odd little things that was still there, had not come up to the surface for dissolution. So in doing that, you become more, you become clearer. You become clearer on the who am I, like who the heck am I, and what is my purpose. So yeah, that's what the anti-angst is all about.
Yes, and for me, it is all that. And for me, I remember when I got mine, it was, I would actually have these bouts where I could feel there would be nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with me. Like I had nothing to complain about, nothing was going on, nothing was wrong, but I would just feel this sadness, right? This real sadness that was coming up within me. And like now I know where it's coming from, and being the empath that I am, right? So, and we know what has been going on the planet. So I'm sure that in the 80s,
well, this is,
yeah, 90s,
yeah, you see what you would, yeah, what you would be feeling is the mass consciousness of the
right.
of that feeling. It's, I think there's a word for it, Weltschmerz or something like that. Weltschmerz, something like world sorrow.
Yeah,
like world sorrow. It's just a sorrow
yeah.
that yes, as empaths, yes, you do feel it.
Yeah, and I found that after that protocol, that, I mean, it would still sting once in a while, but it was manageable. And it was also easily identifiable. Whereas before I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I feeling so sad? Like, what, So after the protocol, it was like, oh, yes. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, send it love, send it light. And, like, let's just move on, right? So it's a very powerful protocol on, like you said before, the unity process starts where you start, right? And it takes
and just to touch back just a moment, something I was told
sure.
to say when we were talking about the different religions and that. Yes. So when one receives the unity field or the unity bubble, because it joins together with the soul of the recipient, it will be exactly what is appropriate for them.
Exactly.
Having the knowledge that they are following that particular religion or faith or whatever, whatever they're following, practice, whatever. So it would never take them away from their path.
Right. Exactly. And, okay, I have something to add to that now, because I worked with someone who has an Indigenous background just yesterday. And I have never seen in any of the sessions before all the ancestors come forward for this person. And this is very much a part of their culture, right? And it was beautiful. It was like, I was like, I wanted to cry. It was so gorgeous, right? So just like you said, it is appropriate to each person. Yeah. Absolutely appropriate to each person.
That's the intelligence of it.
Yes. And the love, the pure love that it's all based in. Yeah.
There is no judgment. There is no judgment. It doesn't matter. There just is no judgment. And you get to that point, it's all fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, well, that's the Christ consciousness too, right? No judgment. It just is what it is. Divine perfection. So, and now for the point we've been waiting for. Another story. And I understand this one is about something that occurred in the deep south. So I can't wait to hear about it. Once again, I haven't heard anything of this, so I'm going to be just as surprised as everybody out there. So Hazel, take it away.
Well, it's not exactly anything to do with being a Melchizedek or not, although it may have some bearing on it. It's not like some of the other stories that I tell. This was when we were in Louisiana, and the roads from, like, I don't know, 1920s, 30s or whatever, there were not many paved roads there. It was all dirt roads and things like that. And Anyway, there were when we were there. They had improved the road system. But what they had done was they had decreased the size of the road, like the width of the road,
Okay.
by a few inches. By, I don't know who was the governor there, but by his wisdom, that's apparently what happened. Well, Jonathan and I were crossing over this bridge. It was if I remember correctly, it was a swing bridge.
Oh.
So he had to stop beforehand and wait for the lights to change and the bridge to, get back together again. It wasn't one way, it was a two-way traffic. And we were first in line when the lights changed. So Jonathan, and he loves driving the motorhome, right? He just loves it. But it's wide. This is a wide motorhome. Even on regular roads, there's only about 6 inches freeway, on each side. So he looks over at the bridge, at the traffic that's coming towards us, and there's another motorhome that's exactly the same as ours. So he knows he was very, very spatially oriented. So he knew that this was going to be a very tight squeeze to get both ourselves and this other motorhome coming at each other across this bridge. And you couldn't say, well, I'm not going, because there's a lineup of traffic behind us. You have to go. So Jonathan, knowing me and how I would probably be trying to help him, not help at all, but he said, Hazel, go in the back, lie down on the bed, and put some music on. And I'll see you on the other side of the bridge. I had no idea what he meant, but okay, fine, So I go into the back of the motorhome and don't look at anything at all. But he knew that he had to have his absolute total focus so that he could miss the side of the bridge and also miss the motorhome that's coming towards us. And I asked him, when he told me this afterwards, I said, oh, it's a good job you told me, because I would have freaked out, because there's an optical illusion when you're sitting in the passenger side of a big motorhome. Everything that is coming at you from the side, you're constantly like going like this, because you think it's, well, you can imagine what I would have been like. I would not have been a helpful passenger at all. So he told me there was he afterwards he figured it out, and there was only probably about an inch and a half of that we missed the other. It's the mirrors, you see, the mirrors stand out on the side.
Oh my God.
So yeah, he knew that he had to have absolute focus on that to get us through.
Well, I wonder what the other driver felt like.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Oh my God. Well, okay, so maybe Jonathan did something for both, because otherwise that could have ended
it could be
not so well. Yeah, I would have sent like somebody like over there, right? And
he probably did something. I don't know, but it was yeah.
Well, you made it through.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So once again, show us your t-shirt. Show us your t-shirt. Unity Living. There it is. And it's available in all colors, all sizes. Mm-hmm. There's also hoodies and men's, women's t-shirts, some cups and stuff, right? And I'm busy creating more things, but I'm kind of busy, but I'm busy creating more things. It will come straight to your door. So if you're interested, like, I'll put a link in the description for anybody who'd like to order one. And
it's a good system.
It's super. Yeah. It's super simple. I just create the designs, and then you can specify what you want, and I have nothing to do with it after that. And you can also order. You can order to a third party. So let's say, as a facilitator, you'd like to give one of your clients a T-shirt or a mug or something. You can do that as well. They can mail it to a third destination.
Yeah,
very reputable. Very reputable. Well, there you go.
Thank you for doing that.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So I see we're once again getting close to the end of today's show. Tune in again with Hazel and myself in 2 Tuesdays on I Married a Melchizedek, when we not only get to learn more about the life of a great being, Jonathan C.R. Davies, and the vast and vital legacy he left behind, but also Hazel's brilliant recollections thereof. We'll also explore more about the Unity Living transmissions and how they assist individuals in the most profound ways imaginable, and answer more questions from our Unity community audience of like-hearted souls. Once again, I'm your host, Renata Duma, or Rada, wishing you brilliant days ahead in the full flow of all creation, full of joy, health, true abundance, and positive outcomes from lots and lots of manifestation. Hazel, thank you for yet another wonderful show, episode 11.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Number 11.
Number 11.
It's a good number.
It's a good number. Very good. So with much love from Hazel and I to you, till we meet again on the next wise and equally whimsical episode of I Married a Melchizedek. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.